Thank you. If you'll come on up to the witness stand, when you reach the witness stand, before you sit down, if you'll turn and face the deputy and raise your right hand, he'll swear you in.
You swear to affirm to the testimony that you're about to hear, truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the
Thank you, sir. And just be careful about that ledge with the rolly chair.
Okay.
And then if you'll just scoot up to the microphone and state and spell your name for the record, sir.
Yeah, this is Marlon Sutton, Marlon Sutton.
Okay. Officer Sutton, good morning.
Good morning.
Tell the court where you're currently employed.
I'm currently employed at Atlanta Municipal Court right now.
Okay. And what agency do you work for?
City of Atlanta.
How long have you worked with the City of Atlanta Police Department?
Ooh, a little over 30 years.
Okay. And when you started, describe your role when you started with the police department.
Yeah, I started back in '94. I was assigned to Zone 3. So I was basically answering 911 calls for the first 9 years I was in the department.
Okay. And at any point, were you employed in that capacity in July of 1998?
Yes.
All right. And would you have the occasion to, as part of your role in the police department, responding to incident calls or 911 calls?
Yes.
All right. And do you also have the occasion to respond to, say, calls involving domestic violence?
Absolutely.
All right. Is that a pretty common occurrence, responding to calls where there's been an allegation or call about a domestic violence incident?
Pretty much in that area was.
All right.
I worked at.
How many calls, and just ballpark, how many times would you say you've had a chance to respond to a domestic violence incident?
I was in that zone for 9 years, so I probably wrote about maybe 5 to 10 reports a day. Domestic violence, it had to be in the hundreds.
I'm sorry.
I wrote hundreds of domestic reports. I've been over there.
All right. And when you respond to a domestic violence call, talk about some of the things that you're either concerned about or you're looking to investigate.
Yeah. Anytime I got a call with domestic violence, first of all, I just want to check and make sure that the victim is taken care of, away from hurt, harm, or danger, see if she needed kind of medical attention, so on and so forth. And we had a domestic violence unit back then. We would call them out to come out and actually deal with them on pursuing any charges further, since in this particular case, I was out on the suspect, was on the scene.
Okay. What typically happens when say a warrant or a domestic violence, say a battery is initiated? What happens typically?
Well, typically if I write the initial report and we'll call a DV, domestic violence investigator, to come out, and they'll investigate from that point on and have the victim come down and pursue warrants and so on and so forth.
Okay. You familiar with the term of TPO?
Yes.
What is that?
Temporary protective order.
And what's generally the purpose of a temporary protective order?
Someone in fear of being hurt or harmed by another person, they file a TPO.
Okay. Is that something that you will either educate or inform persons that you believe may have been victims of the
Right. There's time I can inform or I can get the domestic violence unit, because that's what they pretty much do every day.
Okay.
So
and when you what's the process? How does one go about getting a protective order?
yeah, well, what I would do is that I would just always, if I can't get the DV on the line or can't get them to come out, I would advise them to come down to the courthouse and file one.
Okay.
So the courthouse.
You would actually advise the individual to, if they felt concerned, they would go to the courthouse.
Yes, but generally, if we got a domestic violence unit, then we'll call them out to the scene to assist them further.
Okay.
Forgive me for interrupting, sir. If you would, you're a really fast
Oh, I'm
talker.
sorry. Yeah,
That's okay. If you'll just, when you're answering questions, try
slow down a little bit.
Slow down a little bit. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, is it common for you to find, say, the offending spouse at the location when you respond?
No, it's not common. I mean, sometimes, but not. So most of the time, the suspect probably is gone or left the scene before I get there.
Okay. And I want to turn your attention to July 21st, 1998 incident. Your testimony is that you were employed in that same capacity at the Atlanta Police Department on that date.
Yes.
Did you have the occasion to respond to an incident location at that date?
Yes, there was a call came up that day.
All right. Do you recall what street that incident location was?
I believe it was on Brookline.
All right. Do you recall the address itself?
No.
All right. If I were to show you a copy of your report, would that refresh your recollection as to, say, the address numbers of the street and the
Yes.
street name itself?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Take a look at this document to yourself.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Having reviewed that document, is your recollection refreshed as to the street number?
Yes, 772 Brookline.
All right. Well, let me show you this document.
Okay.
Now, let me ask you this.
Mhm.
So the 772 Brookline Street, do you know if that's the number of the address of the call that came in, or is that the number of the actual house where the incident was taking place?
No, according to what I wrote, is that's not where it occurred at. She had left and went to another location and called, and I met her at that location.
All right, all right. So it wasn't, you didn't meet her at the incident location where it occurred.
Right.
Your testimony is that she left and went to a different.
Right.
All right. And as far as the address where the incident actually occurred, do you recall that address?
Not off the top of my head, I don't.
Would it help to look at a copy of the report?
Yes.
It's documented.
Yes.
All right. You can look at this section here. Read it to you.
Okay.
Okay. What is that address?
I wrote in a 780 block of Brookline.
You don't recall it being 824 Brookline?
No. Let me see it. Let me see what I wrote.
You see that section here? You recall it?
Okay, that's the address that was given to me is their residence address. As a resident, right.
Okay. All right. And when you say their residence, you're referring to the Christopher and Melissa Wolfenbarger?
Right, there at 824
All right. Okay.
Brookline.
And that location, is that in Fulton County?
Yes.
When you arrived at incidents of involving domestic violence, do you look to see if there are any signs of physical trauma or abuse on the individual that's been affected?
Yes.
Did you do that in this case?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell the jury if you recall seeing any signs that Ms. Wolfenbarger had been assaulted or attacked in any way?
Yeah, I documented the bruises that was on her legs.
Okay. And okay. Now, do you recall seeing anywhere else? And I know this is 1998.
I mean, not off the top of my head, as I wrote something down in the report that I'm not aware of.
All right. And during this period, your testimony is that you were taking about five to 10 calls a week?
I may break like 5-10 reports a night.
A night.
Right.
Okay. All right. And that's during that 8-9 year period
Right.
That you were working that zone?
Right. Zone 3 was busy back then.
All right. And so, to your recollection, this would have been the only time you would respond to that location. Is that also correct?
That, to my recollection, it is.
All right. I want to turn your attention to, well, let me ask you this. Would it refresh your recollection if you were to review another portion of your
Okay.
potential injuries you may or may not
Okay.
have observed?
I got you.
You look at that section, tell the court if you recall seeing any abrasions or indication of an attack.
All right, can we approach?
Yes.
indicating where you may or may not have observed any injuries on Ms. Wolfenbarger?
Yes, I observed injuries on her body.
Okay. Do you recall what parts of her body that you observed
Yeah,
injuries on?
yeah, yes, sir.
And what parts of those?
Her legs, I think I documented on there.
Okay.
Arms and legs, I believe. Yes.
Did you also see any injuries on her back?
Not that I recall. That's the top of my head.
You can look at this report in this section here.
Okay. Yes, sir. I see it.
So you recall documenting in your report observing injuries on her arms and back?
Yes, I did.
All right. Now, if you're documenting this, are you documenting what you're observing with your own eyes?
Yes.
Is that a practice that you would do? Would you want to, or would you make it a point to actually observe any injuries that you're going to document in your report yourself?
Yes. I mean, you want to document the injury because just to see if some actually did took place. So.
Okay. That's all I have, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Samuel?
Officer Sutton.
Yes, sir.
So you remember, do you have your report with you?
No, sir.
Do you remember now, or having looked at your report before you came in today, how many hours had gone by between the time of the incident, whatever it was, and the time you first talked to Melissa?
I don't recall, but I think I wrote down that this had occurred at a different time in my report. I believe it happened at a different time.
Right. How many hours had gone by between the time you had, whatever? I'm going to ask the same question.
Yeah, I don't know because I think I documented that this occurred at a certain date and time in my report. I don't know what I put on there, but I think I wrote it down that this happened at a certain date and a certain time. So I'm not sure how many hours it was from my memory.
Do you mind if I give you a copy?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you.
Okay.
Did you document in your report that any injuries that you observed had occurred earlier at a different location?
Yes.
Okay.
I did document, right?
Okay. You met Melissa at her house, right?
No.
824.
Okay. I can't recall. I reason why I say that because I think I met her in the street from that where it didn't occur.
Okay. So we have one place where the event occurs.
Right.
And then we have the residence.
Right.
Okay. By the way, you never saw Chris Wolfenbarger that night
No.
at all. You've never met him.
I don't know what he looks like.
Okay. We couldn't identify him in the courtroom today.
No.
Okay. You guess, but
I mean,
you don't know him.
I don't know him, no.
And never saw him that night.
Never saw him.
Right. And what you wrote in your report was that any injuries were minor, correct?
They appear to be minor.
Okay. I mean,
Right.
you checked a box on
Right.
the report that said
Yeah,
minor.
it appeared to be minor. It wasn't anything grave.
Right. Did you take her shirt off?
No.
Okay. And yet you wrote in your report injuries to back.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't observe those, right?
I don't know. I can't recall.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
And your recollection is something about her legs and her arm,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't ever remember taking her shirt off and
No, I
examining
don't remember taking her shirt off.
or examining her like that.
Well, I saw injuries on her legs just from what I wrote down, what I saw, what I observed. I didn't take any clothes off.
Right. Okay. I'm not accusing you of anything. Was there anybody with Melissa when you were doing this interview?
I can't recall.
You. Okay. Do you remember another man who was at where she had been?
I don't remember that.
Don't remember anything about that.
I don't even think about another man. No.
Do you know what was going on at 780 Brookline Street You wrote that in your report as the incident location, right?
If I wrote it down, I don't know what's going, I don't know if it actually occurred there, and I got to really see my report. I'm not sure.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Okay.
So I did some highlighting, and that's obviously mine, not yours.
Okay.
The incident location was a location at 780 Brooklyn.
Okay, yes, uh-huh.
And Chris Wolfenbarger wasn't there, right?
No,
You never saw him.
never saw him.
And where did you actually interview Ms. Wolfenbarger?
1 second. Let me see. Hold on a second.
I'm not asking you what was said, just the location.
Well, I got to look and see because I know I met her on Brookline, but I don't know the exact location.
But it wasn't her residence.
Whether the residence, no.
And
You also said that there was some stolen items involved. You remember that?
I remember writing it down, but I can't recall. I can't put it together now why I wrote it. I don't know.
Okay, but if your report wrote her glasses were stolen and $10 was stolen, would that be accurate?
Yeah,
wouldn't write it down.
well, I think her purse was stolen.
Okay,
There might have items that may have been in her purse. I was just documenting.
okay. You want to look at your report?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I see it.
$10 was stolen, purse, and her glasses were stolen, and her purse was stolen?
Yes.
You
Okay, I wrote that down. Right.
You wouldn't write it down if you weren't sure, right?
Right. That's what I was told.
I don't want to get into what you were told, but no medical treatment was needed, though. You checked that box, no.
No, I don't recall medical treatment.
Okay. My question. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Fawcett, questions for this witness?
Who's your approach?
Yes.
Document in your report the times that you responded to that location?
Yes.
Was that something that you would have done?
Yes.
And also in your report, would you have documented the time that the call came in?
Yes.
And typically, when a call comes in, what is the contributing factor to when you would, when an officer would be dispatched to a call?
You mean a time? Or
Yeah,
what?
and generally, what time would an officer be dispatched to a call for when action?
They prioritize calls. So if someone just filed a police report and there's no immediate threat, it's going to be downgraded. Okay. So it's hard to say, depending on how busy the calls are that day.
All right. And so when this call came in about a potential domestic violence incident, where would that have been in terms of calls and priorities?
Well, it wouldn't have been a high priority call because there was no threat at the time.
Okay. All right. Now, do you recall and we were talking about the July 21st, 1998 incident. You recall that day? Do you recall the time that you received the call?
No, I don't recall off the top of my head. I don't.
Okay. Do you recall the time that the actual call came in?
No, I have to see what's documented.
Okay. If you could review your report
Okay.
and tell the court if you can recall both of those times.
Okay. The time I received the call?
Yes.
Okay. You want the dates or just the times?
Just the date and the time.
Okay. Okay, I got a call on, it looks to be, I'm trying to read my writing, it looks to be July 21st, 1998 at around 8 p.m.
Okay.
Maybe that's 8:01 p.m. I'm not sure, like maybe 8:01 p.m. 2100 hours.
And that would have been a time you say you received the call?
Right. That's the time I received the call. Yes.
All right. And what would have been the time that you would have responded?
Let's see. Hold on one second. I don't know the exact time I got there on the scene. That's the time I got the call though, so I don't know what time I actually arrived.
Okay.
That's the time I got the call, so it could have been anywhere between, I would say 10 to 15 minutes after I got the call before I got there on the scene.
Okay. That would have been an average time that it would have taken you to respond.
Right, just drive over there, probably about 10 to 15 minutes.
All right. At that time, did you have the name of the individual that would have been the offender?
When I got the call?
Yes.
No, not when I got the call. I didn't.
All right. Did you have, at that time, did you have an understanding of who the potential offender was to the victim, like the relationship between the two? Did you have an understanding of that?
Objection.
Do you want to rephrase? If you can.
Okay. Did you know the relationship between the two parties?
I
No.
object, Your Honor.
Overruled.
What was your answer?
No, I didn't know.
All right. And did you know who the, upon responding, did you know who the victim was?
Upon responding, yes, I did.
And who was that?
I don't know her name, to be honest with you. I can look at the report and give you the name I wrote on there.
I'm sorry?
I can look at the police report and give you the name of the victim that's on the police report. I can give you that. You like me to read the name of the report? I can give you that. You have to know the victim name?
Yeah, did you document that victim's name?
Yes, I did.
What does that mean?
It's Melissa Wolfenbarger. I'm not pronouncing it right.
That's all I have, Judge.
Mr. Samuel, anything else?
Nothing, Your Honor.